It's crazy to think how the three best players in football right now all play for Barcelona. If the Ballon d'Or ceremony were to happen at this moment, Barcelona would easily have three players who more than deserve the award. So who are these guys? How did they become so good? And how is Barcelona as a club guaranteed to win the Ballon d'Or with its players? Hey, before we get into any of that, be sure to smash that subscribe button to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the action. It's no secret that this season, Barcelona has been on a tear.
Haven't they?
They have been absolutely extraordinary, brilliant value, tremendous entertainment for the neutral. Not so great if you're a Real Madrid fan.
Could use every good word to describe the club this season. Getting knocked out of the Champions League was tough, but after the result a few days back against Real Madrid, it now means, as of this recording, Barcelona needs just 2 points more to clinch La Liga. They'll have completed a domestic treble by the time you add in La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Supercopa de España that they won in January. In this team, though, certain players have stood out. The guys who've been incredible to watch. Three players who can more than stake a claim to deserve the Ballon d'Or, and kicking things off has to be the biggest improvement of the season. Him, Raphinha. For context, this was Raphinha before Hansi Flick arrived.
I was not happy about being replaced, but he's made his mark all right.
On the verge of leaving Barcelona, there were talks about swap deals, and last summer, stuff like this was already a trend. He's come from all that, and now becoming a leading light in this Barcelona team. So, what makes Raphinha so special then? For a start, his numbers this season are insane. 34 goals and 25 assists in 54 games as of this recording. He's got more goal contributions than games played, and this is by far the best season of his career. And yeah, it gets better. 13 goals and 9 assists in the Champions League this season, equaling Cristiano Ronaldo's record for the most goal contributions in a single season in the competition. He's the top scorer in the competition, the player with the most assists in the competition as well, and even though Barcelona got knocked out in the semis to Inter Milan, he's the heavy favorite to be named as the Champions League Player of the Season.
Really special. He's taken his game to the next level. I think he's become that leader that Barcelona wanted him to be. We've seen him represent the team with the armband as well, and that tells me that Hansi Flick has bought into him, and he's also buying into the tactics that Hansi Flick's want. He knows he needs.
Mature, experienced. These are the words with Raphinha now, and as ridiculous as the numbers are, that's not even the kicker with him and this Barcelona team.
But at the end, like Raphinha, I never had a player like this because he's unbelievable, the dynamic against the ball, but also with the ball. His speed is really, really fantastic. And yeah.
Hansi Flick saying this is huge. He's never had a player like Raphinha, but then he goes on to explain it's in the aspect of his pressing, his off-the-ball work. Take the fourth goal against Real Madrid in the 4-3 win for El Clásico.
Raphinha, Ferran, Raphinha, it's him again!
It sums up Raphinha now. He works hard to chase the ball, he wins it off of Lucas Vázquez, and eventually finishes the move for the goal. I have to factor in that just 5 days back, he was playing 120 minutes in the Champions League semifinal against Inter Milan. Only Alex Baena has created more chances in La Liga this season than Raphinha, and only Lamine Yamal has more assists. Think about the goals in big games he scored in 3 different Clásicos this season. A hat-trick in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Raphinha has been a star for Barcelona, and it's crazy to think he's got the same odds to win European football's biggest individual prize as another one of his teammates too. The future of football? Well, it's now, and it's Lamine Yamal.
What he did for Spain, what he did for Barca last year, what he's doing for Barca this year, what he's doing on a consistent basis. At 17, he's the best player in the world.
52 games this season, 16 goals, 24 assists, and 40 goal contributions as of this recording. And that's already beating some of the best wingers in the game right now. I'm talking more numbers than the likes of Vinicius Jr., Bukayo Saka, and Rafael Leao. I've said all this, and I'm yet to mention the most eye-catching thing or things about Lamine Yamal. First off, in most countries, he's technically still a minor.
To be like that at 17. I'm not talking about what he does when he's on the ball, his awareness, how calm he is, the way he sees the game, the way he will defend, put pressure. It's just not normal. We talked about the 100 games that he already has at that age. It's just.
He's still only 17. Think about it. Lamine Yamal is a generational talent. How many 17-year-olds have ever pulled off these kinds of numbers so early on in the European top 5 leagues? Not even Messi and Ronaldo were this good at 17. And then you factor in the other thing with Lamine Yamal. It's the fact that the numbers, the goals, and the assists are just one part of his game.
They're so used to beating players on the dribble. Then they get into their late 30s and they start to actually open up and just put balls in. He has that ability already, and he keeps you defenders guessing and thinking.
Technically, he's sound. His control of the ball, the way he moves, the passes, how he beats the opposition, his dribbling, that's another level entirely, because this one speaks volumes. Get this, Lamine Yamal is the only player with more than 90 take-ons in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, and he's got 128 and counting. The most dribbles in the Champions League group stage, the most dribbles in the Champions League in total this season, and then there's the stuff even numbers can't measure. Doing this to Alaves, or unleashing Federico Di Marco's inner child in the Champions League semi-final first leg. Or his Trivela passes. I could go on and on with Lamine Yamal because he is that good. But the point is, as that earlier clip suggests, Lamine Yamal is doing the stuff that's expected of wingers in the peak years of their careers. He's 17, and yet it feels like he's in a form that's final for some players. When he needs to get goals and assists, he can. In the same way, he does the stuff that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Taking opponents on and beating them, being so good that even opposition managers have to admit it.
Mal, che chiaramente è un talento che nascono ogni 50 anni, dei talenti così non l'avevo mai visto dal vero, l'ho visto stasera per la prima volta.
17 and already getting Ballon d'Or shouts? Yeah, that's unheard of. But apart from Raphinha and Lamine Yamal, there's also another player in this Barcelona team who has been quietly pulling strings in midfield.
They go about it, and I thought that was amplified today by the performance of the two guys that have driven this team forward in the middle of the park. I thought Pedri and Frankie de Jong, for all the talk about Lamine Yamal and Raphinha and the goals and all that, the middle of the park today was super important.
Honestly, Pedri's transformation is special. He went from being a guy with talent who developed injuries and couldn't stay fit, looked like he'd fallen off, to becoming arguably the best midfielder in the world.
And I love a midfielder that controls a game. I love a midfielder that picks the ball up deep and just dictates that tempo of that game. And Pedri missed so many matches last season. He had an injury this season. When he gets back to full speed, I think we'll realise how...
Trying to understand how important Pedri is to this Barcelona team is like trying to understand how a magician produces magic. The system Hansi Flick and Barcelona operate in, the high line, an attacking football that always wants to keep the team on the front foot, requires a player who can control the tempo of matches and be the balance to the team. That's Pedri. With a player like Pedri, it's never really about stats. Watching him play most of the time is almost enough, but even when the stats get thrown into the equation, he's more than decent. As of April this year, when Barcelona had played their 25th match of the season, Pedri had picked up the Man of the Match award 20 times. This is staggering, and it gets better still. He's top in La Liga and third in the European top 5 leagues for the most progressive passes per 90, top in La Liga and sixth in the same category for the most passes into the final third, fourth for the most key passes, fourth for the most shot-creating actions, and he's doing this off the back of his constant running. 11.5 kilometers per game. That's the highest average per 90 in that Barcelona team. Almost 5 kilometers more than Jules Koundé, who comes in second with 6 kilometers per 90. His fitness as well this season has been incredible. The only game he has missed for Barcelona this season has been due to a stomach flu. For someone who missed 88 games across 3 seasons for Barcelona before this current campaign, well, it's almost like a miracle. A shout out to Robert Lewandowski, who has been banging in goals for Barcelona before his injury in recent weeks, but it's these 3 who are the favorites from Barcelona to win European football's biggest award, and to be honest, each one deserves a shot at it too. It all depends on the angle. From a numbers perspective, it's raphinha. His goal contributions and the numbers he has put up this season are just too difficult to ignore, but in the same light, he's also got the same odds as Lamine Yamal.
Season is winding down, but the Ballon d'Or conversation is heating up. There is no clear frontrunner really now after Barcelona's elimination in the Champions League.
And there's a reason for that. And that's because football isn't just about numbers alone. Some of the stuff Lamine does is just out of this world. And then you factor in his age too. And it's just mind-blowing to see what he's pulling up with every week. But if there's anything the 2024 Ballon d'Or final poll taught the world, it's that sometimes the eye test can determine the final result.
I mean, it's something you never think of course. My dream was to play in the first division, at professional football. I don't even thought of these things.
Pedri himself even famously quoted Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or as hope for him winning it in the future. Rodri was the glue that held the Manchester City team together, the heartbeat of the team in midfield. The same thing Pedri is for Barcelona. One thing is clear, whoever does get picked out of these 3 will deserve it, because each one has had special campaigns this season. It'll be criminal not to mention players from other clubs who come in with a shout as well. Players like Ousmane Dembele from PSG, Mohamed Salah from Liverpool, and Lautaro Martinez with Inter Milan. But the main candidates are these 3 from Barcelona. Do you agree with the selection? Think there should be more? Or is there a name missing out? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the channel for more.